decides Donald Trump is president of the United States. We've got our republic back, folks.
There it is.
Everybody should remember this moment. Look, I'm gonna echo Charlie from earlier. Remember where you were when this happened. Remember where you were when you realized that the Uniparty and all of these, just the establishment, you said it's time to actually participate. And look what you guys have done.
And if anyone deserves to get tears in his eyes, it's Charlie. I think we all agree.
I think Erica was chucking his money into something in the break room.
No one has worked harder than Charlie for this.
We gotta hear some words here from you, Charlie. You put all this together, my man. Let's hear it.
I am just humbled by God. It's all God. It's all God. God alone. God alone. That's all I say. Decision desk has it. Pennsylvania. It's done.
Hey there. My name's Nadia, and this is my first time recording myself and putting it up on my YouTube channel. I've had a YouTube channel for a few years, but have always been too shy and nervous to ever record myself and put a video up. But today is September 10th, 2025, and the time is 7:05 p.m. Pacific, and today's my birthday. I'm 37 years old. But what has inspired me to make this video today, right now, is that a few hours ago, Charlie KIRK was assassinated in Utah, and it being my birthday, it has sort of consumed me all day, and I feel like this is the best time for me to actually say something important or something that I've always wanted to say and share it with the world. But this isn't about my birthday. I want to talk about Charlie. Charlie has been such an inspiration to me, and Charlie was 31. I'm 37 years old today, so I'm 6 years older than him. But I didn't really come or realize I was a conservative until, you'd probably guess it, 2020. And Charlie KIRK was a big part of my coming to an understanding about what I want this world to be like and the kind of world I want my children to live in. My boys. I have 2 children. Charlie had 2 children. And I agreed with Charlie on mostly all points, minus his stance on Israel and Palestine. Besides that, and that's a huge one, but besides that, I found Charlie very inspirational, and I was always kind of in awe of him, his ambition and his success being so young. I always sort of felt like, geez, what are you doing with your life? Look at this young guy, and he's so successful and is doing so well and is making such an impact on the world. And I've always really admired that about Charlie KIRK. And although I vehemently disagree with Charlie on Palestine and Israel, I do believe that he genuinely believed that's what the Bible was telling him. I truly believe that he really believed that even though to me it's so obviously wrong, but he really believed that that's what the scriptures were calling on him to believe. I disagreed with him. And to me it seems so obvious, but I want to put that aside for a moment, because besides that, I believe he was deceived I believe that for this part, he completely misinterpreted the Bible and what Jesus was calling on us to do. You know, I believe all evil is bad evil, and I could never ever agree with Charlie on his stance on Palestine and Israel. But I do believe that is what he genuinely believed was right for some reason. But today he was assassinated. He's gone. He's 31 years old, father of 2 babies, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they're never going to know their father. And that is so completely wrong. I think overall he was a very, very, very positive force here in America, and I think the work he did is going to live on, and it's going to continue to make a huge impact on young people and even older people, older than him, like myself. I always admired how brave he was and how fearless he was. And all he ever wanted to do was debate. If you think you had better idea than him, fine, bring your ideas. And he would debate. And he brought, you know, people from 2 different aspects of thinking, and he brought them together, and he facilitated conversation. I'm just so saddened that I feel like us as a nation, we've really lost someone special. I'm angry. I was crying earlier. But his poor babies will never know their dad. And everyone should be angry and upset about that. One thing I can say though, at least for his children, his life's work is on the internet, so they can watch their dad every day through his videos and his ideas and his thoughts that he shared with the world. I pray for his wife. God bless her. I can't imagine the pain. But at least she has a strong support system around her, and she will not need or want for anything besides Charlie, who she can never get back. So, like I said, it being my birthday today, and then Charlie dying, being murdered, it has consumed me all day. And I sort of feel like it was today or never. If I were to be a little brave as Charlie is every day and put my face on camera and share it with the world. I was on Charlie KIRK's page earlier, and I was looking at his most recent videos. And 2 weeks ago, there was the Minnesota shooter who shot up a Catholic school and killed a few children. And Charlie KIRK made a video talking about what to do when these things happen and how to keep your faith in God when there is a mass shooter and innocent people die, and how to deal with that. And I'm going to share that video with you now.
Live breaking developments. Somebody emailed us, freedom@charliekirk.com. See, Charlie, this is why I can't believe in God. How could you believe in God after this? It's a very important question. I don't want to be immediately dismissive. So let's first go to what we as Christians or Jews, but what ethical monotheists, we have the problem of evil. Atheists have evil no problem. You see, on the atheist side, they can't say that evil actually exists, because without God, if God does not exist, then we are nothing more than just a clump of cells, and there is no such thing as evil. You only know something is evil if you have good to compare it to. You only know something is right because you have a standard of right. For example, if I have a piece of paper and I draw a crooked line. So let's just see here. I wish I had a Sharpie here. Maybe I do. Yeah, I do. And I have a crooked line. Okay, here's my crooked line. How great is that? Put it in the Louvre. How do you know this line is crooked? How do you know? It was just a line, right? But you immediately look at it, you say, that's a crooked, squiggly line. Only because in your mind, you know what a straight line is. So because there you see a crooked line, you're immediately comparing it to the contrast of a perfect straight line. The same happens in morality and ethics. We only know that something is evil and wrong because we have a transcendent standard to compare it to. If you do not believe in God, it is not right and wrong. It's nothing more than preferences. Now, in my theology, I believe that you're able to choose. Other Christians do not have the belief as much in free will. They sort of do. It's hotly debated. I do believe that we have agency. We have the ability to choose. We have free will. And that individual woke up with the free will and used that free will to murder 2 kids. That's evil. And we know it's evil because we are appealing towards a transcendent truth standard. And this is a principle also shared by Jews and Christians alike. But also understand this, and I got this from Dennis Prager. We as Christians, or Jews, we have to explain the problem of evil. We also have to explain natural disasters. That's a toughie. Atheists, they have to explain everything else. If you are out there and you look at this and you are angry and you are mad and you are upset at this horrific act of evil, I would just say, how do you know it's evil? By what standard do you know is it evil? And you know it because you're appealing to Christian ethics or Jewish ethics or Judeo-Christian ethics in that regard. Secondly, the atheist has to explain everything else around us. They have to explain life. They have to explain the longest sentence ever recorded, which is DNA. They have to explain the fine-tuning of the universe. They have to explain why the earth exists. They have to explain physics. They have to explain the laws of reason. They have to explain the law of thermodynamics. They have to explain it all, and they have to say, oh, it's all just an act of randomness. But if it's all just an act of randomness, then morality is just random. And isn't it interesting that this shooter, we know nothing about the shooter except early 20s, and I'm sure this guy is or gal, but likely a gal, as sick, twisted, awful, demonic as possible. It's a guy, got it. This guy who is now dead, who could have killed a lot more, was only expressing an existential emptiness. Why was this guy drawn to a church to murder young people at mass? And so while that email is well received, Charlie, how could you believe in God after this? The question that I would respond is, well, how can you not believe in a God that created the heavens and the earth? The problem of evil has well outdated every single it's predated almost every single commentator. But if you don't believe in God, then you say evil's no problem. But if you are upset with it, you actually are implying that you believe in God. You might be angry at God. You might be wrestling with God. You might be mad at God. You might think that God is unjust. That's a completely different thing than not believing in God. In fact, we're called to wrestle with God. It's very normal in the Old Testament for people to cry out to God in disgust or anger. It's not always justified, but it's very normal. I want to tell you about something that shook me. There's a 17-year-old girl named Kayla. She's pregnant, scared, and alone, and she thinks abortion is her only option. But then someone offers her an ultrasound, no lecture, no judgment, and she sees her baby. Here's the heartbeat and everything changes. That sound, it's not just a heartbeat, it's the sound of hope, of purpose, of life. Kayla chose life, and here's the key, it didn't stop there. Preborn provided that ultrasound, and then they stayed. They stood by Kayla with counseling, baby clothes and diapers, even housing when she needed it, for 2 years, because real pro-life work means loving moms and not just saving babies. Her son Gabriel came into the world surrounded by love, not shame. Last year, 67,000 moms made that same choice because of Preborn. Just $28 covers one ultrasound, one moment that could change everything. Go to preborn.com/Charlie or click on the link in the description or call 855-601-2229. Don't just believe in life, fight for it. Preborn.com/Charlie. The problem of evil is one that we can only wrestle with because of God and our belief in God. And remember, Christianity is the answer to the problem of evil. There would be no need for Jesus to sacrifice himself for us if we had never sinned, if we had not contaminated this earth. Christ's work will ultimately fix all of the wrongs. God created a good world. In the beginning, Bereshit, he says, God created the heavens and the earth. Evil was not part of God's original design, but entered through human rebellion, as it says in Genesis 3. The source of evil is human rebellion. In Romans 5:12, very clearly Paul writes this in what is known as the believer's constitution, quote, "Therefore, just as sin came into the world through one man, and death through sin, and so death spread to all men because all sinned." Now, God does have sovereignty over evil. Evil exists, but it's not outside of God's control. He can overrule and redeem it. At times, he allows it to happen. For example, in Genesis 50:20, one of my favorite verses, what the enemy went for evil, God will use it for good. The book of Job, which is actually the oldest book of the Bible, the first book ever written. It was a book written actually before Genesis. We know that Satan is active, yet God sets the boundaries. This shows that while evil is very real, God bends it towards his perfect purposes. The cross is God's answer to evil, and this is why Christianity matters. The cross is the answer to evil. Atheists have no answer to evil. We have an answer to evil. And I don't want to discount the pain, the mystery, and the confusion that you might have around evil. But understand, it's because you know what is good, you're only even able to articulate what is evil. The atheist dilemma is that if we're nothing more than just a bunch of particles and chemicals that have accidentally evolved over millions of years, what is your morality? It must come through revelation above reason. The problem should be reframed. The question is, what should not be, why does evil exist? Instead, it should be, what has God done about it? And the cross is the answer to that.
Taken me a really long time to get the nerve to record a video, but I just felt it was now or never. And if you're still here, thank you for listening. Let me know if there's any other passages that you think remind you of the work Charlie did and the legacy he left behind. And if you enjoyed this video, if you think I should make another video, thanks for sticking around. God bless you. Welcome home, Charlie KIRK. And happy birthday to me. Thanks. Bye.